Hey everyone, how's it going? This video is specifically aimed at the governor of Ohio and the governor of the state of Tennessee, who loves to have a sign as you're entering into their state that says what? Volunteer. I hate that sign because I've learned you can volunteer all you want. Who's going to volunteer to help you in your time of need? Anybody? That you don't have to pay? Governors? I've been working in the studio on 2 albums. I'm about ready to wrap it up in the next couple months. I am a summer person. I love beautiful weather. I love water areas. I love sunbathing. I've been that way ever since I was born. The first summer of 1973 is when I got my first suntan with my mother on a blanket in Ono, Pennsylvania. And here's the thing, check this out. It's very frustrating because I ended up out here crying my eyes out that I didn't want to live in the state of Ohio. I wanted to live somewhere that I could enjoy my life and maximize my fullest potential at fulfillment. I don't really have that much time, and don't especially connecting with other humans. Knowledge? How about knowledge or information, even online? Because I'm working on my music continuously, all by myself. This is after years of going down to Nashville a few times and acknowledging that the conversation will never get anywhere unless you actually live here. And even then, good luck trying to get through the knowing. That would be a great movie, a different way. Was there ever a movie called The Knowing? Only it's about blockage, blockheads, people who block out blessings that could happen in their own state, in their own cities, in their own community, in their own household, but they're blockheads. Very narrow-minded, very filled up with the spirit of evilness, like jealousness and bitterness and all the other things. And they'll tell you keep it about the music instead of keeping it about life and God and the truth in your brain. That somebody like you is the most marketable personality to ever step foot on the soil of Nashville, Tennessee. Now, why wouldn't anybody volunteer to be a part of that and generate a livelihood in some formation that says, I have plenty of money in my bank account, instead of blowing your royalty checks at the local saloons as they come in? I want to show you, there's a sign up front of Indian Lake, is where I did my video for the New Jersey song. And that was back in like 2012, 2013. I needed time away from the studio. I feel kind of caged in there like I'm in a hamster cage. And I've been working for the last 2.5 months. I'm getting ready to wrap it up in 2 or 3 more months yet. A majority of it. There's still touch-ups to do. And here's the thing. So I don't know where else to go but off the top of my head, because I don't really have, if I take the time to do researching and stuff, everything I do right now is psychological servanthood. And I really just want to be on the surface of things and enjoy my life from time to time. Who doesn't? So I come here to Indian Lake, and I feel for everyone who's here, I'm not going to show that part of it. If it captures, I'm sorry if you don't like it. I'm trying not to. But I want to show something else. And the reason that I'm pointing out the governor of the state of Tennessee and Ohio is because I think in their conversation, the songwriters that are coming here on August, what appears to be the 21st of this year, who showcase their music, should set down their guitars and showcase volunteering for us. What is that? We need a better example than a lot of the songs that come out of the city of Nashville, okay? About drinking, getting laid, boyfriend, girlfriend, people relationships instead of God relationships. I'm not saying they're all like that, but let's listen to some of the lyrics and wonder, why is our country fallen on its face and has all the people laying on the beaches of LA? Huh? Will they ever know a sign of love? Not if they're listening to a majority of the commercial music that's on the radio, they won't. Their idea of love will be, we're together, now we're apart. Now my wife and my husband, they took everything. You know, nobody loves me. It'll be the people thing. Too much time to minister through a camera. Not worth it. Nobody's paying me for it. Governor of Tennessee, my opinion, you should take down the goddamn sign that says volunteer. It's a volunteer state, is that it? Tennessee, the volunteer state? Volunteer for what? Why don't you show us? Why don't the governor from Tennessee, the mayor of Nashville, come along to this Nashville Writers event? Huh? You can talk to the governor of the state of fucking Ohio. You can talk to the freaking mayor of this local area who's governing the Indian Lake. The geese? I'm going to show you a video right now. Why don't you show us how to volunteer? Do it for free. Huh? It's not about music. Come on. It's more than music. God's paying attention to this message and to your response. Because God's the one who told me to make the video before I leave. If I were to describe my life and the occurrences of things that happened to me over and over again in the process of while I was reaching out to people in the music and entertainment industry, you would understand why I'm sarcastic in your eyes. In my eyes, I'm being sensible. Don't say and make a statement that Tennessee is a volunteer state. Show me that you have servants that volunteer. And you can come up here, instead of just playing songs, you can clean the beaches of all the goose shit. It's like being in sewage. Okay? This is me coming out of Joyce Meyer's and Joel Osteen's teachings of being positive. Because that's how Joel Osteen is. Joel Osteen will teach you to be positive about things and be optimistic. Huh? You have a great and mighty God. Joyce Meyers will tell you stop being selfish with your life and stop focusing on you and focus on what? Go help other people. Get your mind off yourself and get your mind on God. Well, I got my mind on God, Joyce. And guess what? You won't like the message. Why don't you and Joel Osteen come up here with your families, your ministry, and be a part of the greatest Nashville songwriter event ever, where they clean up poop? Show that on the newscast today, okay? Coming up. Video goes viral. What could have been at one time Nashville's most amazing recording artist, one of the most friendliest, huh? Sure. Ended up being the most sarcastic, is that it? To them. This is where, what? The North and the South. They say the South will rise again. I say I hope it's with shovels, pickup trucks. I hope the South rises with shovels and pickup trucks. Put that in a song, get it on the radio. Sing it to the whole state of Tennessee. We need volunteers in the great state of Ohio. Why is that? Evidently, its leadership isn't too keen about keeping the poop off of the beaches. How do we solve this problem? Oh, there's kids out there. I won't show them up close. My question is, does whatever's governing this area, does it care about the health and the well-being of the humans? God says show more goose poop. There's, how much do you think that is? Do you think that's a half a mile? How long is the beach? And it's not just on the beach. It's in the grass. Okay? It's all over the area. It's all over the city of Ohio, Dayton. You can go to any waterway. Check this out. What's over here? Let's check it out. Look at all the landmines. You know. Is there a retired farmer from Tennessee or Ohio in the local areas? Maybe Indiana or something. You never know. Hey, they can come over here and help out too. Maybe we we could provide them some beverages and food. Oh, and it would be what? A time in history where there should be what? Lots of publicity for the one who sees it through. What would they call it? Put it on the headline of whatever papers are available. We're going to start talking about cleaning up poop across the state. It's starting a trend around America and other countries too. They're being an example. How do humans coexist in nature with other life forms? Because there's more than Goose. If you saw what I saw in the clouds today, you might get the hint that there's a lot more. It's not for me, that's for news reporters. What do you think of all this goose poop? So you get the point. People are asking me, what is that? What is that? Evidently, they're not sure that this is a smartphone with a video camera. And I try not to capture people on it for all kinds of reasons. So when I edit it, I'll try to be careful. If they're from a distance, it doesn't bother me. You see what's going on. Let's look up here at the sidewalk quick. And do you know what would be perfect for something like this? Look how long that is. That's shit all over the place. For starters, I don't know what kind of draw this place has. There's all kinds of possibilities from places that I visited myself. You know? I don't want to say anything because, you know, it's all based on beliefs and whether or not it's a good thing or not so good. Is it volunteer? Is it paid for positions? At least for a season of time. Every year. Maybe it's only on occasion. Maybe in the month of July and August, September. They have, yes, landscape equipment. They have farm equipment. Ocean City, Maryland, I noticed. Because I was mentioning that if I would have fell asleep on the beach, I don't know if they would have saw me. They have filtering machines that we can run up and down the sand and filter out the gook. You know, I don't have all the answers. When it comes to concrete, how do we wash it? They have tractors, they have brushes, water, safe stuff that can be used that if people step on it ain't gonna hurt them. What do you think? What if you wanted to come here and have a picnic? Do you have a sense of humor with you? Alright, so I was discussing that I have been to places when I traveled and I know that they have machinery, whether it be like farm equipment, it would be like landscaping equipment, and it's kind of like a litter box right now, a very dirty one. This equipment, you can drive over it in a manner like plowing a field, harvesting a field, planting seeds, and it has something behind it that kind of rakes everything in and filters out the grit.
Hi! How are you?
They're like cute kids. Okay, and I was pointing out on the concrete that they have like brushes. I don't know what's safe for humans to be around or wildlife. How do you clean it in a safe manner that you can get the grossness off the concrete while also keeping everybody safe and the wildlife? Has anybody ever conversated about this? Or is it something that everybody knows exists and they've come to a conclusion there's other priorities? See, I don't know what I would do if I understood that there's a lot more other things, concerns. You know, which one do you put your undivided attention to? It's kind of like your children. If you have 4 or 5 of them, okay, and you got 3 of them close to you, and another one's kind of running around, and it's been known through its observation that it usually tends to itself pretty good. But there's one out in the water. Huh? So how do you tend to which children, which child? Hopefully you don't end up in a situation where you got one child in the water, child's hurting, something's going on, and then there's a child way across the field. And there's only one of you. You have one of your other children run towards the other one. In other words, responsibility. In what regard, which one are you responsible for in the moment that you have to make a serious decision? Now, it's not the same as what's happening here, okay? But yet, is it? Because now that I'm back, at what point do you hold people that are surveillancing this place, watching, monitoring it? Huh? When do you hold them accountable for cleaning up the grotesque? Has it been proven through biology, or what would it be? Science? That won't contaminate or hurt anybody? We walk around with masks on our face, okay, because they say that a virus is real. I'm telling you, in my belief system, I don't believe it's real. I believe there's much more that they're leaving out. Now, the reason to wear a mask, in my opinion, would be to walk through the parks of Dayton, Ohio. That makes sense to me, because it's kind of like walking through a sewage. You see, I used to live in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. That's where I was born and raised. And for a season of time, though I was familiar with it because I lived in Lebanon County in my existence until I was listening to Joyce Myers, I didn't know what to do. And I was not educated on how to take care of myself outside of being an entertainer. Okay? I learned that the cops are corrupted. Do you know what I think should happen? I think the police. Get out here and get your fucking lazy asses up and pick up the fucking shit. With all the people you framed, I think it's makeup time to your community. Let me tell you something. The officer that put money in my hand in Pennsylvania, and then they put me through a lot of shit going through the court cases, lawyers, okay? I had personal matters to tend to that were far greater than dealing with that. In your opinion, your idea of what has been forced upon you as a prostitute is the dirt and the filth of your community. And here in the great state of Dayton, Ohio, I'm telling you, it's the goose shit. And it's a lot more harmful than people will inform you that it is. Now, in what way? I don't know. Should I scoop some up and go to a biologist and talk to them about it? Should I start making phone calls and then slam the freaking state with a lawsuit? See, you wish it was in Pennsylvania. I was thinking to myself the other day, if it would have been in Pennsylvania, I probably would have got myself in deeper trouble. You know why? I'm 450 miles away from where a lot of bullshit happened to me, physically. And God has shown me what? It's kind of like my holding place where I get to speak up and share what I truly think about what the hell I went through and the ignorance that the government is in the United States and the law enforcement, the police officers that I was brainwashed to respect. Let me tell you something. God showed me many times, not through my own occurrence, thank God, and I hope never. One time, I was in an ambulance. No, twice. One in Pennsylvania, and one in Ohio. And they were transporting me to a mental facility. By the way, both of those times, actually 3 times, while I was listening to Joyce Meyer's ministries and taking her teaching serious. There has to be a lawsuit in there. I should be extremely well-to-do with a gorgeous home, property, brand new car, transition, anything I want. Very well-to-do. Sue the Joyce Meyer's ministries. You have evidence. I still have it in my filing cabinet. And it says in my documents. It states very clearly I have been listening to Joyce Meyer's ministries and applying her teachings into my life. I took her serious. And look at all the shit I went through. And I'm still going through shit. And all I wanted to do is live my life and fulfill my heart's desires. That's what every human being wants to do, whether they're in tune with it or not. But Joyce Meyer's teaching says it's selfish. Get your mind off yourself. Go do something for someone else. And God showed me one. Or take that comment and we'll use it. Now make a video. Because God lets me know that as a singer, songwriter, entertainer, a lover of God, a lover of life, a lover of the Holy Bible, there is not one other human being any more worthy of being showered with the blessings that go along with being that person who God has blessed in songs, joy. And by the way, I went through hell putting down the whiskey bottle, putting down the beer. Okay, I have quite an amazing story. And I am condemned my own self when I write about it, unless I feel it's beneficial for life. Getting drunk and getting screwed and all that stuff. I'm condemned already. Why? Because that is not life. That's indulgement in things that do not lead to life, but a gravesite. So, alright, I'm done. I don't need to show you anymore. Stop by here, check the place out. Will they clean it up for them? If they do, if they clean it up for the Nashville Songwriter event that's here, I hope the people that do see this in the state of Ohio take that as what? Disrespect. Because you should care for yourself, Joyce Myers, number 1, first. And you can't until you learn that there's a God who is for you and loves you. And God will let you know when and when not to care about others. But you never, ever care about others before caring about yourself. That will keep you busy in this lifetime as everybody's kicking you around. Is that what I should say, God? Something like that. So, anyway, I didn't want to make a video like this. What I want to end the video with for now is I want to show you one of my favorite trees. I love this tree. Do you think that should be a painting? It's beautiful, isn't it? And I say that every time I come here. That's one of my favorite trees. I love it. I don't know if that is a weeping willow. Okay, but if it's not, it looks very similar. And there's a second one that looks a little smaller. I don't know what that tree is actually, but it reminds me of a weeping willow. I find that very attractive. I don't know how many miles this is, square miles. There's poop everywhere. And by the way, if I didn't just hear in words in my own brain, I would say that it most certainly is beneficial for life and common sense. It shouldn't be cleaned up for an event. It should be a way of life. I was just saying to myself that I would have liked to go out in the water. I've been in the sun too long and I don't want to get burned or nothing. Hopefully not. It's something that I don't get to do too often because I take recording my music extremely serious. And I just like to enjoy some time also. I enjoy the drive coming here. And it is a gorgeous place that needs cleaned up. Look at the parking lot. Okay? All those white spots, that's bird poop. I used to drive something like that, similar. Okay? They have equipment. I don't know if they're the ones who tend to it or not. And obviously if you say something to a person at the wrong time psychologically, he's very friendly, he waved to me, pointed up. You know, they might not want to be in conversation like that specifically in a moment. So I'm just pointing this out, okay? Anyway, I've only been up here about 3 or 4 times. I made one of my videos up here. It is a gorgeous scene. Otherwise, I want to show you this sign. I'm going to turn this off, I'll show you, and then I'm done. There's somebody Who's that hiding behind the sign?
Hey, how are you?
Great, are you a songwriter?
No, but I'm the husband of the wife whose brother is a songwriter.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, Even Stevens.
Even Stevens?
He wrote, he was Eddie Rabbitt's songwriting partner.
Oh, really?
He wrote I Love a Rainy Night, Driving My Life Away.
That's one of my favorite songs is
Yeah,
Rainy
you
Night.
should come to the concert.
I would love to hear that.
Great.
Is he going to be here?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a nice day.
You too.
All right, I am getting ready to go home, and I stopped by Jack and Deere's Pizza. Get some French fries, and that's all. Dun, dun, dun. Notice Nashville songwriters. As people are entering into Tennessee from north, at least there was in 2010-ish. Sometime in that era, there was a volunteer state sign. And I don't want to talk about this for too long, but when I was self-employed as a singer, many times I crossed paths with people who said, why don't you do things for free? And why don't you move down to Nashville? So you can imagine, after going through the things that I went through, enduring it, noticing, we can buy tickets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 songwriters. And my question is, as I'm sitting in front of 2 words, I wonder why you have to pay to go see them, considering Tennessee is such a volunteer place to be. My question would be, why won't they do it for free? Instead of Nashville coming to the state of Ohio and singing their songs and people having to pay for tickets, isn't it bad enough they got to pay for their own transportation to get there and whatever they need for the evening? Why don't the great state of Tennessee show the state of Ohio the words that they speak about their city, their state? Volunteer. We don't pay people down here. They do it for free. Why don't you show us what you're talking about? See, this sends confusion to children that are inspired to be songwriters. Great ones. Do we live on the same planet? How do you do things for free or just sell tickets? Who's getting that money? That's a good question. Let's think about that as we go through life. I also wanted to show, considering I was in the entertainment industry for quite some time, trying to connect with people in general. I'm not pointing out anyone specific. Lots of people. And I understood that I could pay people to work with me. But people picking up a log with you? Much different. You can't serve both God and money. My word support where it comes from studying scripture. Can't serve 2 masters. When I was here, I was a little nervous because I remembered the Papadino's thing, occurrence that happened. And it's funny because back then I really loved Dino from the Flintstones a lot. I had a Dino cup. It was a white cup, a small drinking cup. It was one of my first cups I ever drank out of. I had that all the way up until I lost everything. Meaning I had to give some away. I had to sell a large portion of it for reasons I don't want to talk about at this present moment. But as I lost detaching from the form that I was already in, I had to give up things that I had since like 1972, all the way up until 2007, that I wanted to keep my whole life, like my Mickey Mouse plate. It was the only plate I ate off of pretty much my whole entire life, especially when I was at my mother's, up to a certain point, I mean. And I kept it with me, and I still ate off of it up until I gave it up. I don't know if I gave it to my sister or not. Maybe some of those things I gave to other people that I loved. Anyway, I was in here, and I thought it was cool because Papadino's, if I'm not mistaken, was red and white. And this place called Jack and Goose Pizza, which is right here by Indian Lake. I had thought that I would get a slice of pizza before I went home, and instead of having pizza all the time, I also like pizza boats, and they do have that here. Well, it was not on their list, but they had fries, and I thought I just want to eat something smaller, right? So just by judging the price and that it was an appetizer type item on the menu, I thought, well, it'll be a small helping, and being that I don't want to get puffy on my drive home, drinking lots of water, having fries in my belly, I had asked them, when I put the two and two together, is it possible that I could have pizza fries with like a vegetable, I forget how they worded it, a veggie pizza, pretty much so. Could I have the veggies and fries, like pizza fries? So I'd have pizza fries with veggies, is what I said. And also, they have a Hawaiian, which is one of my favorite pizzas too, to eat with pineapple, ham, and has bacon. Only I didn't want to have any meat today. So I asked them if they would make a veggie pizza fries and also include pineapples as a topping. She asked me, she said, would you like that all cooked together? You want them heated up a little bit? And I asked her if that is, what does she think would taste better, because it's my first time eating there. And she said about heating them up, so I asked her if she would do that. And they ended up being a large portion of French fries covered with vegetables and pineapple. I really enjoyed them. I couldn't eat all of them because it was a huge helping, much more than I thought they would be. And I was thinking to myself, I didn't say it, but I wanted to take a picture of it because I was surprised. Because I'm connecting with Papadinos and not getting what I wanted out of the conversation. With the lady that was helping me, it was very, as you spoke, it occurred. Okay. So as we spoke, it occurred. And that means a lot to me. As a customer, as a human being, as somebody who's hungry and wants something specific, that matters when you go to diners, doesn't it? And I'm very grateful that there's people who are easy to talk to, comfortable to talk to. It didn't feel like, I had to be dogged to get what I wanted. So what I wanted to say is I didn't have my smartphone with me when I was eating. And my first words out of my mouth were, man, I wish I had my phone with me because I'd take a picture of this. This should be like on their wall as a menu piece. Veggie fries. I don't know who else does it, but I'm sure there's other people who have. And it's pretty much like a veggie sub, vegetarian sub with French fries and and sauce. And check this out. I'm gonna flip it around really quick, and then I'm gonna get going. Can you believe that? And I like this. The red and white checker. I like that a lot. And obviously, I got a takeout. Because there's no way. This is like less than half of what I ate. A large portion of the French fries. It came with a lot. So very good. And I have been wanting to try their pizza here. I did not. So I can't really say much for that. But I do like the atmosphere. And I want to capture video really quick. I was talking to myself. And I had mentioned that this location, this set location, is kind of what it reminds me of, like a set location in a movie from like the 70s or 80s. I want to get some video or eavesdrop. I want to get it again quick. And that's where it is, Wilgus, Main Street. See the bay, if that's what that is, the lake, and then that's it. And early in the morning, I have come here the last time I was here, I guess last year, and I got here probably, before 8 o'clock probably. This was closed, and just the way that it appeared with the way the atmosphere was that morning, wow, it would be a nice sun location to do a quickie. Okay, I'm out of here, and I did not take the can of tuna. I did not take it. Tuna? I did not take the can of tuna.